अब छुट्टी मिलेगा पूरा बच्चे मेरा नहीं था चित्रा कुमारी मिस
Good afternoon. We are here in the series of Cbse in-house training program. I am very grateful to our principal sir for providing me an opportunity on a very interesting topic, 21st century skills. Let us begin by asking a question to ourselves. What or who is the center of all activities in society, a nation, and the world? Is it not by an individual for an individual? Yes, it is so because all actions are taken by an individual for another or for self. This means that an individual is the nucleus of everything that happens or is done. And therefore, the development of a society, a nation, and the world go hand in hand with the development of an individual. When a society, nation, or world develops, this has a direct impact upon the development of an individual and vice versa. Now we come to our topic. Why are 21st century skills important? What are 21st century skills? With the onset of the 21st century, the entire world has witnessed an era of intense transformation in all areas, whether it is education, global trade and economy, technology, or society. Recently, the COVID-19 pandemic is also throwing up challenges for an individual to cope with its impacts. Naturally, for such times, a different skill set is required that would enable an individual to cope up and succeed in facing the challenges in real life, leading to his holistic progress. These skills are addressed on 21st century skills, learning skills, transversal competencies, etc. Why are 21st century skills important? The 21st century skills are the skills that are required by an individual for his or her holistic development so that he or she can contribute to the progress and development of his society or nation and world. Now, why 21st century skills are needed for students? Today's education faces irrelevance unless we bridge the gap between how students live and how students learn. Empowering our student with these skills is another challenging task, which the board is committed to accomplish. While the Cbse has already adopted and initiated several innovative policies and practices to empower our students with the 21st century skills, it is required that all Cbse stakeholders should not only have a clear understanding of them, but also collectively collaborate towards attaining the 21st century skills in each learner. Our present session will try to complete these targets which has been set by Cbse. अब हम एक छोटी सी घटनाओं पे ध्यान में लाते हैं. Do we remember all the marks that we scored in class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on? Some of the greatest and most successful people were neither A graders, nor do they care enough about it to try and remember their grades either. But we do remember the incidents, experiences that we had in school, in market, in friend, in travels, because those experiences have given us various skills and have made us what we are today. In fact, more the skills we gain through our experiences, the better the human being we become. Now we come to some historical backgrounds, historical developments, how these phases came. First was Dallas report. It was in 1996, produced by International Commission on Education for the 21st century, proposed one of the first frameworks to identify competencies needed in the coming century. The Dallas report also formulated 4 principles identified as 4 pillars of education: learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live together. Some other approaches were WHO life skills, decision-making and problem-solving, creative thinking and critical thinking, communication and interpersonal skills, self-awareness and empathy, coping with emotions and coping with stress. Next development was OECD, the document 21st century skill and competences for new millennium learners in OECD countries, details 3 major dimensions for the 21st century skills. These were communication, information, and ethics and social impact. Next progress was in this field was P21. P21 provided 11 competencies gested into 3 skill sets: learning and innovation skills, information, media and technology skills, and life and career skills. Some other approaches were also like ATCs. It categorized 21st century skill into 4 types. These were thinking, ways of working, tools of working, and living in the world. Another approach was done by UNESCO. Revisited and divided all our research skill into learning to know, learning to do, and learning to live. So UNESCO finally divided it into 3 categories: learning to know, learning to do, and learning to live. Now we will discuss components of 21st century skills. These are broadly written as 3 Ls, 4 Cs, IMT, FLIPS. 4 Cs stand for critical thinking, creativity and innovation, collaboration, communication. IMT stands for information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy. FLIPS stands for flexibility and adaptability, leadership and responsibility, initiative and self-direction, social and cross-cultural interaction. Just we have discussed 4 C's: critical thinking, creativity, innovation, collaboration, communication, IMT, and FLIPS. Now we will discuss one by one. First one is critical thinking. Critical thinking is the capability of objective analysis of information and includes the following qualities: fairness and open-mindedness, activeness and being informed, willingness to question or to entertain doubts, being independent, recognizing and assessing values, peer pressure, and media influence. Problem-solving skill is the skill of identifying the relevant piece of information when faced with a mass of data, discarding information that may be useful to give new information, and finally, relating one set of information to another in a different form by using experience, relating new problems to ones we have previously solved. Creativity and innovation. These are the skills to explore and create fresh ways of thinking. Creativity refers to new way of seeing or doing things and includes 4 components. First one is fluency, gathering new ideas. Next one is flexibility, shifting perspective easily. Next point is originality, conceiving of something new. And next one is elaboration, building on other ideas. Innovative skills means skill for thinking creatively or to develop something new, unique, or improved. Next term used is collaboration. It is ability to effectively work together with others. This skill involves working together while taking actions, respecting others' need, perspective, and contributing to and accepting the final. Communication refers to the ability to express one's option, one's opinion, desires, needs, apprehensions, etc., oneself appropriately, verbally and non-verbally. Next, we discuss information literacy, media literacy, and technology literacy. These words are very closely related. These skills involve the ability to access information, either in the form of traditional or digital, media and technology, to understand and critically evaluate different aspects of content and information, and create and communicate effectively. Next topic is flexibility and adaptability. Flexibility and adaptability refer to a person's ability to change his action and steps taken by him according to a new situation, and effectively facing an unprecedented situation without compromising on ethics and values. Adaptability can be defined as creating modifications or change in oneself to suit the new environment. Next term is leadership and responsibility. Leadership is the ability to lead a team and be capable of effective team management in relation to real-world challenges. Being responsible means being a good and effective, sensitive citizen. Be aware of important social and national issues that have an impact on our daily lives, both as human being and as a student. Be aware of the important social and national issues that may have an impact on lives in future, both as human being and as a student. Next term in this screen is initiative and self-direction. Initiation skills involve the ability to begin a task independently. It helps the child to build his or her own path of development. Self-direction is a skill to work with integrity on self-motivation and taking initiatives. Self-direction is a skill to work with integrity on self-motivation and taking initiatives. Productivity and accountability. Productivity in the student can be understood as fulfillment of any task within a given time period. And accountability can be understood as feeling responsible for any task done. Developing this skill in a student helps him or her to work effectively and also make him her reliable for other peers by being accountable for his or her actions. Next term is social and cross-cultural interaction. These are the skills to communicate work collaboratively effectively in diverse social and cultural environments. Our next topic is need of 21st century skills. Learning is complete and holistic only when a student is able to effectively perform and fulfill his or her responsibilities and duties towards self, school, family, society, and above all, the nation. The goal is to enable today's student to be a good citizen and a responsible human being who is well aware of his potential and competence. Thus, 21st century skill also focus on the aim to make a person perfect. not only to teach, not only to learn, not only to give him or her education, but to enable today's student to be a good citizen and a responsible human being. It is the need of today. We see that in society, many types of crimes are done by some well-learned person, well-educated persons. So the 21st century skills are also focused to make a student a good citizen and a responsible citizen, a responsible human being. Another thing, simply teaching to text or learning for exams is not going to help a student face everyday life situation. 21st century skills are key to the empowerment of children and adolescents to deal with the issues and concerns related to their life. They experience a number of feelings, many of which are related to their growth and development from childhood to adolescent and beyond. Some other aspects are important needs for the children with special needs for developing their independence in their home, school, and community environment. Today, because of rapid economic and social change, schools have to prepare students for jobs that have not yet been created, technologies that have not yet been invented, and problems that we don't yet know will arise. It is a matter of concern. Because of rapid economic and social change, schools have to prepare students for jobs that have not yet been created, technologies that have not yet been invented, and problems that we don't yet know will arise. Our next topic is, what are 21st century skills? The National Curriculum Framework on Life Skill, the National Curriculum Framework 2005, we have already seen life skills are important part of it. The importance of integration of life skills can be seen in National Curriculum Framework. Development of life skill such as critical thinking skills, interpersonal communication skills, decision-making, problem-solving skills, and coping and self-management skills are also very critical for dealing with the demands and challenge of everyday life. In core subjects, we need reading, math, science, and other all subjects. Learning skills include thinking, problem-solving skills, information and communication skills, self-interpersonal and self-direction skills. 21st century skills are information and communication technologies, such as computer networking, audio, video, and other media, multimedia tools. 21st century content, global awareness, financial, economic, business literacy, civic literacy. 21st century contents, make content relevant to student lives, bring the world into classroom, provide authentic learning experiences. Assessment, both core subjects and 21st century skills. Classroom assessment, strengthened and integrated with instructional process to reinforce learning. This picture represents the bridge to 21st century learning, core subjects, learning skills, 21st century tools, assessment, 21st century content, 21st century skills, and context. Now we discuss mainly on the 21st century skills for the development of an individual self or various age levels. Like for the age group of 3 to 5 years, understanding and expressing self. For this purpose, we need self-awareness in the core life skill, but in 21st century skill, the communication is needed. Enhancing self. For this purpose, earlier we were problem solving, but now we use critical thinking and communication skill. Building and maintaining relationships. It needs communication, social skill, creative and thinking flexibility. For the age group of 6 to 10 years, understanding and accepting self. For this purpose, we need 21st century skill as critical thinking. It can be done as demonstrates positive views of all, demonstrates positive body image, and celebrates oneself. Managing and expressing self. For this purpose, we need social skills and adaptability. Another thing is enhancing self. For this skill, we need 21st century skills such as social skill, better communication, critical thinking, creative thinking. Building and maintaining relationship. This needs critical thinking, communication initiatives. For the age group of 11 to 13 years, understanding and accepting self. Once again, we need 21st century skills such as critical thinking, creative thinking, social skills, and effective communication. In this age group, we also have managing and expressing self. This needs 21st century skills, communication, creative thinking, social skills, critical thinking, information technology, media literacy, etc. In this age group, for enhancing self, we have the need of communication skill, creative thinking, critical thinking, flexibility, initiative, productivity. Another aspect of this age group is building and maintaining relationships. For that purpose, we have the need of critical thinking, effective communication, and creative thinking. Now the age group of 14 to 18, which is the very most important. In this, we discuss the dimension understanding and accepting self. We need for this social skills, critical thinking, creative thinking, communication, information technology, and media literacy. These all are needed for understanding and accepting self in the age group of 14 to 18 years. In this age group of 14 to 18, managing and expressing self. For this purpose, we need critical thinking, communication thinking, and creative thinking. Enhancing self needs communication, creative thinking, and critical thinking. Now we come to implementation and outcomes of 21st century skills. The 21st century skills are essentially the outcomes of experiential learning. That is, they are imbibed through observing, understanding, practicing, and experiencing. Before beginning details about the implementation of these skills in the teaching learning process, let us understand what various frameworks are upon in this area. The following literature review brings forth a few important points. First approach was well mentioned. Ackerman and Perkins have suggested teaching thinking skills as a meta curriculum blended with core subjects. Students would be given a far more coherent set of learning experiences. They would know why they were being taught various skills, and they would know better how to mobilize themselves to make sense of curriculum content. Another approach was Tucker and Cording of the US-based National Center of Education and Economy have advised to adopt such a curriculum that provides deeper understanding of the subject and the ability to apply that understanding to the complex real-world problem that the student will face as an adult. Now we discuss the broad outcomes of 21st century skills. First was critical thinking. It includes effective reasoning. If we have good ability of critical thinking, that will result as effective reasoning. Being able to use reasoning appropriate to the situation. Using system and processes with intelligent and rational thinking. Analyze how various parts of a system process unite or complement each other for a complete picture. Judging and taking decision on an issue after proper evaluation of evidences, claims, arguments, etc. Analyze and evaluate various perspectives, making correlation between various types of information available, interpret the available information, and for conclusion after effective analysis. Reflect the process and cons of experiences to solve problem. Devise innovative solution of different kinds of non-familiar problems. Identify and ask relevant and vital questions to bring both various perspectives and for getting better situation. Second is creativity and innovation. Think creatively. Use various techniques for creating and involving new ideas. Use all available concepts to create and conceive create or conceive and perceive novel and useful ideas, elaborate, refine, analyze, and evaluate ideas to improve one's own creative efforts. Work creatively with others. Develop, implement, and communicate new ideas to others. Be open and responsive to diversity. Incorporate group input and feedback into the work. Understand the practical limits for adopting new ideas. Implement creative ideas for a useful contribution. Collaboration. Collaboration with others. Ability to work effectively and respectfully in diverse scenarios. Be adaptable to accomplish a common goal. Assume shared responsibility for collaborative work and value the individual contribution made by each team member. Communication. Communicate clearly, effective oral, written, and non-verbal communication in a variety of forms and diverse social, cultural, linguistic contexts. Listening effectively to infer meaning. Use communication for a variety of purposes and functions. Use several forms of media and technologies and know their effectiveness. Information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy. Information literacy, effectively and efficiently critically access and evaluation of information. Use information accurately and creatively for resolving issue or problem. Manage the flow of information from a wide variety of sources. Media literacy includes understand the preparation and purpose of media masses. Examine various manners, ways of interpreting messages. Technology literacy understands for use technology as a tool to research, organize, evaluate, and communication information. Use digital technology, communication network, and tools to access, manage, integrate, evaluate, and create information for functioning in the real life. Next one is flexibility and adaptability. Ready to change. Adapt to varied and multiple roles, jobs, responsibility, schedules, and context. Work effectively in scenarios of changing priorities. Be flexible. Incorporate feedback effectively. Deal positively with rise, setbacks, and criticism. Understand, negotiate, and balance diverse views and beliefs to get solution, particularly in multicultural environment. Next is leadership and responsibility. Lead while guiding. Use interpersonal and problem-solving skills to influence and guide others towards a goal. Involve the strength of others to accomplish a common goal. Inspire others to attain their best by example. Be responsible to everyone. Act responsibility keeping in mind the welfare of society and nation. Next is initiative and self-direction. Managing goals and times. Work independently. Be self-directed learner. Explore new information to achieve mastery in a task. Take initiative to get skills up to the professional level. Be a lifelong learner. It is a very important sentence for every one of us. Be a lifelong learner. Critically and positively analyze past to make future better. For better plan of future, we need to analyze our past critically and positively. productivity and accountability. Set and meet goals even in the face of obstacle and competing pressures. Practice values, ethics, and skills of professionalism, time management, punctuality, discipline, patience, collaboration, and receptiveness to other results. Social and cross-cultural interaction. We need effective interaction, working in a team with diversity. Twenty-first century skills, purpose, outcomes, strategies, and activities. We will discuss some aspects of it. Questions that a critical thinker always need. What is happening? Gather the basic information and begin to think questions. Why is it important? Ask yourself why it is significant and whether or not you agree. What do not I see? Is there anything important missing? How do I know? Ask yourself. Ask yourself where the information came from and how it was constructed. Who is saying it? What is position of the speaker and what is influencing them? What else? What if? What other ideas exist and are there other possibilities? These are the points which we have to discuss as a critical thinker. Thinking itself is a skill. A skill is the ability to do something well. Thinking is the processing of thoughts, to consider or reason about something. When thoughts are channelized and used properly to understand, analyze, interpret, and reach to a conclusion, then it can be seen as thinking skill. Anything, when used systematically, can do wonders. Some goes with thinking. Another aspect of critical thinking can be applied in debates. In class, we use this tool, debate. So it can be used for critical thinking skill development. We also use other skills like asking riddles, made questions, cross questions. Like first of all, debate. It will be same as debate activity. Topics will be given to a student and they will choose sides accordingly. But on the day of activity, the teacher will reverse the sides and will give some time to prepare. Thus, it is different from debate. Topics will be given to student and they will choose sides accordingly. But on the day of activity, the teacher will reverse the sides and will give some time to prepare. This sudden change in sides will make children uneasy, but they will also try to think differently for the change sides. Ask yourself self-made questions. An activity can be organized in which the students have to prepare questions other than the textbook questions. This exercise will help children to think differently for creating questions. Teacher will see if the questions are original or not. Gap filling, gap paper and fill pen to student, give paper to paper and pen to student, and after showing a picture, ask them to write on the top of the paper what is happening in the picture. Cross questioning. This is the extended version of ask yourself. In this, children will present their questions in front of the class and her peer will cross question him or her. Like, why this question? How this can happen? Last one is asking riddles. In this activity, teacher will ask riddles from different subjects so that children need to think in different directions for different subjects. Now we come to discuss some aspects of curiosity and innovation. Some aspects are inquire, observe, research. These are related to curiosity. For open-mindedness, list, think differently and explore. For imagination, have ideas, select from the best event. And problem solving, identify, respond, and present solutions. Creativity is the tendency to generate or recognize ideas, alternatives, or responsibilities that may be useful in solving problems, communicating with others, and entertaining ourselves and others. Some bases are brainstorming, questioning, entertaining, improvising, overturning, problem solving, designing, creating. Our next aspect is also related to creativity. Some aspects are creative space, image talk, scamper, alternative way of learning lesson, and wrong is right. We discuss some aspects like first is image talk. Under this activity, children will use variety of images to talk and express their opinion and views. They can use things like pencils, pens, colors, tablets, boards, notebook, etc., whatever they can think of. Another is SCAMPER. These words stands for substitute, combined, adapt, modify, put, eliminate, and reverse. It is essentially exploring new ideas by testing and questioning them from different angles. For each letter of the mnemonic, ask yourself a related question. Substitute. What would happen to the task if we exchange X with Y? Combined. What would happen to the task if we combine X and Y? Adapt. What changes would need to be made to adapt this task to a different context? Modify. What could be modified to create more value on this task? Put to another use. What other uses of application might this task have? Eliminate. What could be remove from the task to simplify it. Reverse. How could we recognize this task to make it more effective? Another is wrong is right. In this activity, team of 2 individuals will be made and one individual will ask questions from the other individual, and the first individual will have to give the wrong answers of the questions asked. Creative space. This will include providing a space for creative activities like drama, quiz, painting, music competition. We will make sure that these activities are held from time to time in the class so that children can get their creative space integrated with their curriculum. Alternative ways of learning. As a part of the lesson, we can also encourage creativity by asking children to present their own version of the story after the completion of the textbook story. Now we come to another aspect, that is innovation. Innovations are the need of 21st century. It can be done with the help of project-based learning, virtual reality. Project-based learning. In this method, students inquire, investigate, and analyze a question or a problem or a challenging issue to find novel solution. Phenomena-based learning. This is the multidisciplinary and constructive way of teaching learning, which has a real-world phenomena like water, health, energy, etc. as the starting point, not the usual subject for the school culture. It encourages a student to acquire and be active learner. Virtual reality, learning and interaction in 3D. Let them free. Take children outside the class and let them free. Then ask them what all they see and how they can relate them to different subjects. Give them break. Giving children time off from the class and give them time for their interest and hobbies. When children spend time in what they love, that will help their brain to work more innovative. Attendance link has been given in the chat box. You all are requested to make the attendance. For 21st century, collaboration is the need. It is the ability of effective workness. This skill involves working together while taking actions, respecting others' needs and perspective, and contributing to the. If we all work with collaboration, then this target can be achieved easily. Essential elements of communication skills: listening, non-verbal communication, being clear, being concise, being confident, being personable, being patient. To achieve the digital literacy, we must use technology with the demand. Cbse has also taken action for achieving 21st century skills. like many type of quiz has been organized by Cbse. Many training programs have been organized by Cbse. Cbse Heritage Quiz, Cbse Mandatory Art Integration Work, Heritage India Quiz, Making Experiential Learning as Mandatory Pedagogy, Science Exhibition, Cbse Storytelling Competition, Art Exhibition, Aryabhat Ganit Challenge, Reading Challenge, Skill Education, Creative and Critical Thinking Practice, Science Promotion Test, FIT Schools and FIT School Week, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, Cbse Expression Series. These are the some efforts made by Cbse to achieve the target. So these are the aspects in which we should work to achieve the target of 21st century skill. With this, I conclude the session. Thank you for active participation in this session.